Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Before Sofronio Vasquez hit the stage of its showtime last January 19, wherein he played a medley of songs with the 10 grand finalists of Tawaging Tanghalan. In this episode of the Filipino channel's online chat program BRGY, Kapamilya Entertainment writer MJ Felipe got the opportunity to check up with the grand winner of The Voice USA Season 26 after his first ever experience as a jurado on The School Showdown. MJ originally had Sofronio take us back to his simple and joyful youth in his birthplace of Ozamis City, Misamis Occidental, as well as his life before coming to Manila to achieve his aspirations. Sofronio characterized himself as a makulit and baybang bata when he was a small child. He spent much of his time playing on the streets with his pals, and his mother regularly scolded him for it. He and his pals used to reside in a seaside location, thus they would often play Bangka Bangkan with the cases of old refrigerators that they got from a trash store. He was initially introduced to music at home when his father would turn the radio up loud every Sunday morning. The family would sing along together before going to church. He originally discovered his desire to become a singer when he was in elementary school. His instructor would assign him and his classmates to perform at various events, which helped him understand his passion. He was so impressed by the experience of being on stage and having a large audience see him that it motivated him to follow that career route when he got older. While he was in high school, he participated in a number of auditions, attended numerous events, served as the frontman of a band, and was a psalmist at church. Sofronio's job was greatly affected by the COVID-19 outbreak since he works in the entertainment sector. He was forced to wait in line for government assistance or ayuda after losing his primary source of income. He also took on a number of side jobs, including selling rice cakes, live streaming, and performing at online events. He had the choice to return home to his family in Ozamis City, but he chose to remain in Manila. He opted to stay here since he was used to his lifestyle in the capital and because he had more prospects here. MJ then brought up a recent interview he had with Martin Rivera, who has been a strong supporter of Sofronio ever since he began his journey on The Voice. The concert king informed the entertainment reporter that Sofronio's accomplishment was something he used to strive to but was unable to do. He is thus delighted and proud that Sofronio is able to fulfill it not only for himself but for all the Filipinos as well. It, of course, moved Sofronio and communicated how it still seems weird to be able to rub shoulders and develop ties with the OPM idols he used to just watch and whose songs he used to only cover. In addition, he is not used to the kind of attention he is receiving and tends to feel extremely bashful about it. However, he is happy that his goal of being seen and heard has finally come true. I didn't imagine na ganito ang magiging output at ganito magiging extra ang layo milya talaga compared dun sa bahay ko na panangarap. But above all, I simply wanted to express my gratitude since I was given this opportunity, presumably because I genuinely dreamt of it and worked hard for it. So kailangan ko talaga siyang namnaman alagaan at magrespeto dun sa pagkakataon, he said. They then took another look at Sofronio's experience on The Voice USA, beginning with the manner he dealt with the rejections he received throughout the process. He said that he did not want to think about being rejected so much and so intensely, so he just took it one day at a time. He is just hopeful that after every time he hears no, and every time he has a terrible experience, he will be able to try again and it will ultimately be a yes. Sofronio also discussed his life in Utica, New York City, where he lived and worked as a dental assistant before he entered the singing contest. He also spoke about how his foster family, their friends, and the whole Filipino community in Utica and other states helped him win. He genuinely feels that it was impossible for him to make it to the top without their unflinching support for him, which they expressed via power voting for him. That is proof that you are a person who is able to adapt. Kahit saan ka mapunta, huwag kang matakot. At times, it might be difficult to penetrate or adapt right away, but it is a cycle, it is a journey. So, ara, you get to simply be optimistic and appreciative and happy. Ido yang tutumpituna, as cliche as it sounds, no man is an island, Sofronio said. Sofronio, the lone competitor from the Philippines, said that there were times when he felt like an outsider and uneasy, mostly due to the disparities in race. On the other hand, he did not allow it to affect him. Instead, he displayed the Pinoy fighting spirit and versatility that he had, which assisted him in connecting with his fellow competitors and other individuals there. He also spoke about the rituals he performed while participating. These included placing a penny in each of his shoes, tapping his foot 3 times before starting his act, and saying a prayer and making the sign of the cross before coming on stage. Finally, when it comes to his greatest moments thus far after his return to the Philippines, Sofronio said that the best moment was reuniting with his loving mother, as they had not seen each other in a long time. He did not get the hero's welcome that some people wanted him to have, but he said that he did not need it since he was already happy that abs-cbn welcomed him warmly and that the President of the Philippines and the First Lady invited him to Malacanang to meet with them. Sofronio Vasquez had always been surrounded by music. Born and raised in a small, sunlit village nestled between lush green hills and fields of golden rice, he could recall music as far back as his memory would stretch. The rustle of the wind through bamboo trees, the rhythmic clinking of carabias bells as they plodded along the dirt roads, and the soft hum of his mother's voice as she prepared their meals all seemed like the symphony of his earliest days. But it wasn't until a particular moment, one etched into his soul, that he realized music wasn't just part of his life, it was his calling. As a child, Sofronio had been a shy boy. His days were filled with simple joys, climbing trees with his friends, catching fish in the nearby river, and helping his father tend to their modest farm. The village was small enough that everyone knew everyone, and his family's home was often a gathering place for neighbors who brought their guitars and hand-carved drums for impromptu jam sessions. The music brought the community together, binding them through shared laughter and soulful melodies. Sofronio's earliest exposure to singing came from his grandmother, who sang lullabies to him every night before he went to sleep. Her voice was warm, full of wisdom and emotion, and even as a child he could sense that it carried stories of love, heartache, and hope. She sang old folk songs, many of which had been passed down through generations, and Sofronio would often hum along, his young voice still unsure but eager to join in. One Sunday, when Sofronio was about 8 years old, his family attended a village celebration in honor of the town's patron saint. The entire community had gathered in the town square, which was decorated with colorful banners and filled with the scent of roasted lechon and sweet rice cakes. The highlight of the day was a singing competition, a tradition that brought together villagers of all ages to showcase their talents.